What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 11 team builder, taking on Amish and the Singapore Sobble Squad. I will make some notes about playoffs at the end of the video, so if you want to stick around and hear what's going on with playoffs and whatnot, then that is the time to do that. So let's look at Amish's team here. His team consists of Tapu Koko, Slowbro, Heracross, Salazzle, Tyrantrum, Carbink, Mega Kangaskhan, Ferrothorn, Landorus, Therian, Avalugg, and Galarian Moltres. He has priority options in the Mega Kangaskhan with Fake Out and Sucker Punch, and that's it. Also Feint on Heracross, but nobody runs that, and I used to note that in my videos hilariously. Hazard setting, he's got the Heracross with Spikes, Tyrantrum with Rocks, Carbink with Rocks, Ferrothorn with Rocks and Spikes, Landorus with Rocks. Removal options is the Koko with Defog, Landorus with Defog, or Avalugg with Rapid Spin. 4x weaknesses, he's got the Heracross to Flying, Salazzle to Ground, Ferrothorn to Fire, and Landorus to Ice. In general, this team is actually quite weak to Ice. The only resistances are the Salazzle, Slowbro, and Avalugg. On the special side, Avalugg is not really a resist, if we're being honest with ourselves. Salazzle's also not really a resist ever. It's quite frail. And on the special side, Slowbro doesn't really appreciate ice moves either all that much, unless it's spec'd into it. So that's something noteworthy about this team here. In terms of what I'm expecting versus not really expecting, I think the Carbink is the only thing that's probably just never coming against my team. It's weak to so many things and just does absolutely nothing. If I had to guess what is coming, I think Koko is coming for sure. I think Lando is coming for sure. I would guess that Mega Kangaskhan's coming. Slowbro's probably coming. Ferrothorn's probably coming. So those 5 seem to be like flat out in my mind, and then Avalugg maybe as the last one as a Mega Gyarados answer, because the rest aren't the best Gyarados answers, but Ferrothorn's probably what he's going to go with. Or like Scarf Heracross could definitely be like a threat in the last slot, or Salazzle is kind of what I'm predicting. He's brought Galarian Moltres the last couple of weeks. It's got an okay matchup against me. It beats Slowbro plus Tangrowth, so that's definitely an option that he could bring. Sorry, Slow King plus Tangrowth. I don't have Slowbro. But I do think he's kind of forced to go Koko in my mind. Maybe he isn't forced to go Koko. I think he is kind of semi-forced to go Koko, but that's maybe just me. Kangaskhan, I'm not really going to be able to punish all that much in this game, so we're just going to ignore that Kangaskhan even exists for a second here before I go over my team. Lando is way too much of an issue. We'll see how well that just like dicks on me, but I'm going with a much more offensive approach than a defensive approach in this game. There's nothing really on the line for me. I've already clinched playoffs. What is on the line is like a top 1 or 2 seed. Amish is right behind me. I think he's in 3rd place, and I'm in 1st. Yeah, he's sitting in 3rd place right now, and I'm in 1st. So there's a lot of teams with 7 wins. 2nd to 7th place all have 7 wins, and I'm the only team with 8. But Zane hasn't played this week, and Amish plays me. So there's a possibility of 3 teams at 8 wins by the end of this week, which makes week 12 a lot more important. And it will be for Lux, and I'll get into that probably in the team builder for Lux, but he's like 1 win off of 7, and it might matter for his playoff shots if he's going to make it or not. But what I'm more focused on is trying to win this game, because if I win this game, I'm in a really good position to get a top 2 seed. In fact, actually, I think if I win this game, I'm guaranteed a top 2 seed. I would be. If I win this game, I would be guaranteed a top 2 seed. I should actually just have to win one of the 2, unless Amish and Zane don't play each other next week. They do. They play each other next week, actually. So I just need to win either this week or next week, and I'm guaranteed a top 2 seed, which is really good. So back into things with my team then. First up is Tangrowth. I'm bringing Spedef Tangrowth, mainly for the Koko. He does have a lot of physical attackers, but Tangrowth can still take like EQs from Lando, CCs from Heracross, things like that, head smashes from Tyrantrum. I don't necessarily need to be physically defensive. You know, this can switch into Slowbro really easily, and because he's got physical threats everywhere else, there's no reason for the Koko to be physical. So this is just, yeah, it's a Koko answer, right? With Sludge Bomb, I can kind of take on Salazzle. I say kind of because it's not really the best in the world for me, but yeah, Sludge Bomb for the Koko, Giga Drain for the Slowbro, for mostly just the Slowbro, but the Lando too. Focus Blast is for the Ferrothorn, and Ancient Power is so that I can hit the Galarian Moltres but it should also be able to hit the Slazzle for me for decent damage there. Just fully Spadef, Tangrowth, really no reason to go with anything else there. Cinderace's boots, I saw his team, I was going to go with like a different Cinderace build because I thought it might be worth it, but he does have a lot of hazards that I don't really want to keep on my side. So I'm running boots with Court Change, get them out of my side of the field. I'm just running Power Ball, High Jump Kick, U-Turn. U-Turn for the Slowbro, which might just port on me, to be fair, but Power Ball hits a lot of stuff well, and then the stuff that Power Ball does not hit very well, High Jump Kick will hit well, like Tyrantrum. And then High Jump Kick can also be a nice move against the Mega Kangaskhan, unless it's Wish Protect. So got to sort of scout out and see what sort of spread the Kangaskhan is going to be. I am outspeeding Salazzle, so I can U-turn on it. I think Power Ball might be able to break a sub, which is something that I might be a little bit concerned about, but we'll have to sort of see when we get into game if he even brings the Salazzle. I'm just outspeeding it just in case. Yanmega, I'm bringing Choice Scarf, Tinted Lens, Yanmega with just Bug Buzz, Air Slash, U-Turn, and Defog. Yeah, this is another reason why I'm bringing Core Change Cinderace, is because I don't want rocks on my side with Scarf, Yanmega. I two-shot Coco with either move. I should two-shot the Tyrantrum with Air Slash. And then a lot of other stuff just gets really blasted. You know, Tinted Lens helps me out against the Salazzle with Bug Buzz. It helps me out against the Heracross with Bug Buzz as well, I think. The Coco with both stab moves, and the Lando with Bug Buzz, the Tyrantrum with Air Slash, and the Carbink with both moves. So that's what we're running Tinted Lens for, and I figured our Scarf was fine. It's enough damage, even being Timid Scarf, that I'm not all that worried about it, but I do outrun a lot of potential Scarfers on his team. His Mega Kangaskhan cannot be Scarfed. His Salazzle and Coco could be Scarfed, but they're the only two things that would outspeed me, so Agility Moltres is something obviously to keep in mind, but I do outspeed the Scarf Landorus, so if he is going to go with the Scarf Lando on his side, I will outspeed it. Possibly two-shot it. I have Defog in a pinch if I really, really, really need to get rid of rocks for Thundurus, which is coming up later. I'm not Boots Thundurus, so if I need to get rid of rocks for Thundurus later, then that's something that I can keep in mind there. And then U-turn just for momentum if I'm in a position where I can't just like click a move and kill something by clicking it twice. Or if I'm like in on Tyrantrum or something like that, I can't really like hope for a flinch, right? So I need chip on it. So U-turn will be fine. Just U-turn right into Garchomp. Probably, because it'll want to click a rock move against Yanmega, I'd imagine. Garchomp is physically defensive with Rocks, Fire Blast, Earthquake, Toxic. It's pretty standard for the most part. I mean, Earthquake kind of deals with everything else. Fire Blast will be able to handle Ferrothorn plus Heracross, which is just, it's fine between the two of them. Fire Blast will be able to deal with both of those, as well as the Avalugg. Lando is something that I can't really touch, but I've got Toxic for it just in case. Toxic just wears down a bunch of things. I'd imagine Slowbro is probably the initial answer. I can get a Toxic on that and then throw up like rocks or something in its face. Or I just get a Toxic on it and then switch into Tangrowth on presumably an Ice Beam, which we can take comfortably, and then Giga Drain or whatever, and just move on with my life from there. Yeah, that's the Garchomp set. I mean, like, it's physically defensive for Mega Kangaskhan, for Heracross, for Tyrantrum, just handles all three of those really, really well. And then Lando can semi-handle, but it's not the best at handling it. I do have a little bit of attack investment for Earthquake. I think this is to make sure that I can Oko Tyrantrum. I can't remember what the calc was now. It's been a few days since I built this, but Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin to punish a lot of stuff. Especially if the Lando's gonna like U-turn, then I can Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet, and just get a bunch of chip on that. And his Wishmon is Mega Kangaskhan, so I'm not even sure that Wish Mega Kangaskhan is gonna come, but if it does, then it's gonna get punished. Genesect, I'm bringing a Rock Polish set with Douse Drive. So rather than going the Ice route, I went with the Water route, and this is mainly because I didn't have a good way to hit Salazzle besides Psychic, and I didn't want to bring Psychic. So I have the Rock Polish Technoblast Water, which will hit Lando plus Salazzle, and anything else that it needs to, but it shouldn't need to, except maybe against the Heracross, I think. The Heracross, I would probably click Technoblast as well because it's neutral to Flash Cannon, and Technoblast will be stronger even with the stab bonus. I'll also be getting a physical attack boost off of Heracross, so Heracross is not something that I can Rock Polish on. Presumably the Slowbro would be my best bet, although I would not be surprised if he's running Flamethrower Slowbro. Ferrothorn is also going to be something that I can probably abuse. yeah, so the Technoblast is for Salazzle just because it's just the best way to deal with it. You know, Ferrothorn doesn't really answer a Bug Buzz very well, especially a +1 Bug Buzz very well, so got a lot going for me with that one. Technoblast is also going to hit the Koko the best, I think, because its Flash Cannon is neutral against that, and the Mega Kangaskhan. Bug Buzz and Technoblast will do the same amount of damage, so I might go for Bug Buzz there to get the Spidef drop or something, but yeah, I'm just running dual stab Technoblast, and it hits his team incredibly well, actually. Just the combo of the Bug Buzz plus Flash Cannon hits so many things well, and then the things that it doesn't hit well is what Technoblast covers, so should be a good one here. I'm outspeeding Lando, so I will outspeed base Lando, and then I can Rock Polish up, and I'll outspeed Agility, Galarian, Moltres. And yeah, that's what I'm going with here on the Genesect. Last but not least is Thundy. This is a T-Bolt answer from Koko, but it's really just more of an offensive mon, right? Like, I'm not trying to bring this as a T-Bolt absorber, but yeah, it's an offensive powerhouse here. I've got U-Turn, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and Sludge Bomb. I'm hoping that I can wear the Lando down in a position where I can just click Thunderbolt over and over and over and over and over again. Specs Thundy will just demolish some stuff on this team if I can click Thunderbolt. He does have a couple resists, right? The Slowbro and the Ferrothorn and the Koko. So I decided to go with Sludge Bomb over Dark Pulse, and I've got Focus Blast still there for the Pharaoh, and if I really need to OHKO the Mega Kangaskhan, I got Focus Blast for an opportunity there, as well as hitting the Tyrantrum. So I opted into Sludge Bomb instead of Dark Pulse because then the Koko would have resisted all 3 moves, actually all 4 because of U-Turn as well, and Slowbro would have been weak to Thunderbolt either way. So Dark Pulse is like, it's really only there, it would only be there to hit like Lando, which I presumably would U-Turn on or like swap anyways, so yeah, I am outspeeding Mega Kangaskhan, and I'm just max special attack, a little bit of Spidef. I could optimize this, excuse me, but I don't really care enough. It's 4 EVs, so I'm just not gonna. Normally I would, but it really it's so irrelevant. So that's the team. In terms of what I'm not bringing, Slowking, like, it's a good Salazzle answer, but then again it loses to Koko Moltres, so of the special threats on his team, I think that Slowking doesn't really handle them all that well. Mimikyu is something I was definitely considering. Avalugg makes things a bit too much of a problem. Like, Avalugg is just way too big of a wall for Mimikyu, I think, and Mega Kangaskhan outspeeding it is not super helpful. Lando, all of these factors just made me not want to really bring Mimikyu. Even though Mimikyu is a good way to break Slowbro, and it's a good way to revenge like Salazzle, Koko, Tyrantrum, and Moltres, but I just didn't feel that it was a good place for it here. Kecleon, again, like the same thing as Slowking, basically. Like, he's got more physical threats, so I opted into Tangrowth as the special wall, which can still be a physical wall in a pinch. And then Mega Gyarados is not super great here, actually. I think it gets coverage, like, specially to hit Ferrothorn, which is something that I could have gone like an option that way, but overall I just didn't feel like Mega Gyarados was the play here. Excuse me. Could have been more of a like special wall with physical, like just four attacks Gyarados, like what I ran last week, but there's too much that just outspeeds me. Like, Lando Heracross outspeeding me is just not good. Means that I can pretty much never Mega Evolve against the Heracross, or I have to when he's going to think that I'm not going to, and then he's going to Stone Edge or something. So just too many weird things going on there. Excuse me. Hitmonchan beats a few of these mons and then gets like hard beat by the others. Like, half of his team is really, really weak to Hitmonchan, and then the other half is like really, really strong against Hitmonchan, so I'm not going with it. I've got the Core Change on Cinderace, so I don't need the Rapid Spin on Hitmonchan. So, I think I said I was going to mention this at the end of the video, but I already mentioned it in the middle. Again, if we win either of our last 2 games, we will clinch a top 2 seed in playoffs, which will guarantee our choice of playoff opponent in round 1, unless I'm second, then I would get whoever's left. But if I don't win both of these games, there is still a possibility of a tie. Like, if I lose to Amish, then he can lose to Zane, and there's still a possibility of a tie if I lose to Lux. So there's like a lot of stuff going on. I think the lowest I can fall is still 7th? Like, I could still fall as low as... No, I can't fall as low as 7th. Savage can't make up that much differential. The most that I can lose is 12, and the most he can gain is 6. So I'd be at 9, and he'd be at 6. That's not possible. The most I can lose is 12, which is 9, and Revan can only gain 6, so he'd be at 8. So actually, the lowest I can fall is 5th. Lowest I can fall is 5th, but I was the first team to clinch. I'm trying to finish out the season strong so that I don't look weak for playoffs, but I've played a lot of these playoff teams. If playoff stays exactly the same way as it is, then I will have played every single playoff team except for Mike, and, which is not great for me, because I've beaten a lot of these people. Like, the only one that I've lost to so far is Revan, when he hacks me with the Darkrai. So I don't have a ton of good ideas for backup plans, I don't think, which is going to make things a little bit more difficult. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys for the match against Amish and the Singapore Sobble Squad.